Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Blu-ray Hunter. I'm the Blu-ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and we have our was it July? It's June and July haul. So for 2023, and I'm here with my buddy John Ward, who's been doing this with me for a while. How are you doing, John?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Excellent.
John and I are excited. We've got 30 movies each, so that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. And so I'm going to let it kick off like we usually do 15. Well, we usually do half and half. So he's going to do 15 to start with. I'll do 15, and then he'll do another 15, and I'll do another 15 to end it. So kick it off, John.
Okay, so these are in some sort of order, even if they don't appear to be that way. But I will start off with Nazis. Well, that's a good way to start. Nazis. So I have Nazi Undead,
Nice.
which is a film that I actually enjoyed. Surprisingly, it deals a lot with time travel, and
Sweet.
yeah, so I enjoyed this. I thought it was pretty good. I just bought it on the cover alone and had no idea what it was about.
Well, I'm
Uh,
guessing it's the Nazis and they're undead.
it's only the one, just him.
Oh, so, well, it does just say Nazi. It doesn't say
Yeah,
Nazis.
yeah.
So they were
I
very
mean,
right on the title.
yeah, quickly, it's like a couple in a car. It breaks down. They find a house. Inside, there's this guy roaming around because it was like a house during World War II, and they get stuck in like a time paradox type of thing
Oh,
where they can't escape the house. I actually thought it was pretty cool.
oh, so it's like
Um,
a Groundhog Day.
yeah, yeah, just with Nazis,
Yeah.
or Nazi
Yeah, that's probably how they pitched it. We're gonna do Groundhog Day with Nazis.
with
And somebody was like,
Nazis.
perfect.
This is a film that I have very mixed feelings on. The Hunt.
The Hunt. You could
So
change
this
a word in there. You could. Just saying.
you could you could
I don't know who to be
um
referring to, but it would be referring to somebody in that movie, I'm sure.
oh, good point. But it's Democrats hunting Republicans, and according to the filmmakers, they didn't pick a side, and I think that's a total lie. They obviously picked the conservative side. So um
That's
yeah,
typical.
yeah, and I like her, but I'm not a big fan of her character. But it's, I mean, it's okay. I got it for kind of what it is.
I
So
mean,
it's like the most dangerous game.
if you,
Um,
I like movies where I don't like the characters if like the movie's good, and enjoyable, you know what I mean? Like I've been watching a lot of movies where I don't like the characters, but I still like the movie because the movie's good. The characters piss me off, and that's their job.
yeah, yeah. I just wish that the filmmakers would have been more honest.
Right.
You're either going to do 50-50 or you're going to do like a 60-40 type of thing.
You
And they're like,
shouldn't
"Oh
do
no."
50-50 at all. I mean, pick a side, man, because otherwise it gets very confusing.
Yeah, and one of the things I like is Emma Roberts is in this, who I got a big crush on, and she's only in the film for 5 minutes.
Oh,
So she plays a Republican that gets killed off like right at the beginning of the movie. So
spoilers. Jeez.
yeah, it's been out long enough. The next one is a film that I got from Kino Lober. I
Lorber.
always Lober, right?
Lore, like the lore of
Lore
and
Burr.
Burr. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's hard to say.
it is. It has to be maybe somebody's last name or something. And it's Tintura the Tiger Shark.
Nice.
This is the American version, which is 30 minutes shorter than the Spanish version, and it's better than the Spanish version. The Spanish version is a love triangle with a tiger shark. This is a tiger shark that's killing people.
Oh,
So
I thought
they
you were saying it was a love triangle with a tiger shark, and I thought the other one would have been a tiger shark with a love triangle.
no, 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 that probably would have been more interesting. But no, this they cut it down to 90 minutes, and it is now just a killer shark movie, which is fine because the other one is really boring. And it comes with its slipcase, which is one of the reasons why I got it, from that company, is because I wanted the slip jacket too.
Nice.
So yeah.
I'm not a big slip fan necessarily, but if they have them, I'll buy them. You know what I mean? But if they don't have them, I'm not like I need the slipcase with it, you know?
I get very pissed when I don't get the slipcase.
But I'm just
So
saying, like, if I'm on eBay and there's one with the slipcase and there's one for $5 less, $5, I'm going for the slipcase, you know, just because, you know, why not? But if it's like $20 and then slipcase is like 30, you know, dollars, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather get the
I
just the
always type in I always type in movie title and then slip cover,
with
and then
slipcover, yeah.
yeah, and I see what they have. This also has Susan George in it, which is awesome.
Nice.
Um, and of course, one of the worst movies, I've watched it twice. I thought it was horrible. I gave it a second chance. Is the new Children of the Corn?
Hmm.
So got
Yeah, you've
that,
been
which
telling me you don't like that one.
yeah, and it's got its slip jacket, which is nice. I don't know how they got Bruce Spence to be in this movie. Maybe he, they know him or something like that. But this is not a B movie actor. This is the guy who was the gyro captain in The Road Warrior. He was in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. He was the lead Wraith in Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's just like this guy is he's in Star Wars movies. I mean, it's like he's not a B movie actor.
Well, sometimes they'll do B movies if they get if they get a good price, you know, like and some companies will go higher for like a name, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, who knows? It would have been nice to have audio commentary with it. There's like a couple of deleted scenes, but it would have been nice to get some sort of audio commentary since this is, I don't think this had Stephen King's permission, because it really differs from the story. And like the town is not Gatlin. He who walks behind the rose is called He Who Walks. It's very different, and obviously
Hmm.
it's gender swapped, which is fine because they've done that in other Children of the Corn movies. But the Isaac character is this girl here, and then Malachi is this girl here, but she's educated, like she wants to go to college and help with corn in the town. It's very weird, and yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Then I got probably the one of the worst remakes of Stephen King ever, but I figured it was cheap. Why not? And it's a collector's edition. I did sadly pick up Firewalker when I was in LA.
Oh,
I mean Firestarter. I'm sorry, I said
but
Firewalker.
the that's the new one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I already own the original and the sequel. They're like a
You're a completist. I get it. I'm part completist, you know. I have Firestarter on Blu-ray, I believe, and the original Drew Barrymore one. So I think I may end up getting the other one just because, but I don't know. I'm not really everything I've heard about is terrible. Like no good
yeah.
things.
I really hate how she kills the cat. Like she sets a cat on fire, and that was a big complaint with a lot of people. I did read the novel, but it was like 20 years ago, and I don't remember if that was part of it.
Hmm.
Um, there are elements of this I like, but most of it, probably like 99% of it, I don't. I think it's poorly casted. I don't. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I have it to have it pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't have the first one, but I did buy the sequel because I found it cheap and it was Blu-ray, which is what I want. And that's the collection. I still need the collector.
Both
So
collectors. Isn't there two collectors? And then the collection.
no, there's the collector, the collection, and then they want to make a third, but they
Oh.
just haven't done it yet.
For some reason I thought there was a second one already before that one. But all right,
Mm-mm.
I'm wrong.
Yeah,
It's a series I just don't care. Like I don't I am not a big home invasion fan, and so there's some home invasion movies I really love, and then most of the time it's like okay, I feel like this has been done, you know, and stuff. So I don't
but you
know.
saw it. You saw the original because
I
it's.
did. I
I
tried.
don't consider it a home invasion
I
movie.
turned it off about halfway through, you
Oh
know.
wow, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
consider it home invasion. I think it's just a horror movie.
The first one was about the people coming. You know what? I just totally got that mixed up with the strangers.
The
So maybe
Strangers
was a
would
home
be, but
invasion
that's
movie.
but that's at a motel.
I thought that was at a house, the first one.
No, The Strangers is at a motel, and then Strangers 2 is at the RV park. The first one of this does take place in a house. They're rebuilding the house, and then the people move into the house, and he puts traps all over it. So it's kind of like more Saw, I think, than a home invasion movie.
It was from the guys that did Saw, right?
Yeah, they
Like,
also did Feast, and it's like the Collector was their first directing job, and this is their second. I don't think that they've done anything else past this.
okay. Okay, well, I might
So
give it another try. I remember watching it. I think I watched both the collector and strangers around the same time, so I got them mixed up. So, but I do remember turning both of them off and having no interest in either of those movies. So
yeah,
I
I
need to
liked both.
rewatch them.
So these are kind of brutal though. Like he does kill a cat in this, and it's on that like paper that like roaches go onto and they can't get off of it, and a cat gets on it and he kills a cat that way, and it's kind of which I didn't like because it's
Nobody
like a
likes that.
no.
It's
I mean,
terrible.
yeah. So and then I got one. I just got this in the other day from our buddy. Zombie Flesh Eaters 5. So
What buddy is that?
Mr. Ferguson.
You got it literally from him?
I got it from Kanaki. He had a
Yeah.
sale. And this is it says includes 4 cuts. Zombie Flesh Eaters 5, 51 minutes. Not a movie. Zombie, see that's 5, 6, 7. Zombie 8 international cut, 70 minutes. Zombie 7 US cut, 62 minutes, and Urban Decay 69 minutes.
Yeah, 69.
So that's kind of why I got it. The thing that annoys me, and I understand this is through Kanaki, so you can't really do it, but they're all on one disc.
Ew.
So that's like,
But it's probably not going to look the greatest anyway, but I mean, his movies rarely do.
oh yeah, yeah, that's true. And I already owned the one version of Zombie Flesh Eaters. It was on that collection, but I wanted to see the other one, so I picked it up. It was like $7. So with shipping and tax and all that, I think it was like $10.
Yeah.
Um here's a series that I wish they would have made part 3, but the second one did not do well, so we're never going to get the ending of the trilogy, but that's Escape Room.
Escape Room.
So I like that. And then also its sequel, Escape Room Tournament of Champions.
I kind of want to watch them both because like the Tournament of Champions one looked really good in the previews, and I never
You have
saw it
to
because I haven't seen the first one.
you on both of them, you have to just let all logic go out the window. You just
Okay.
can't.
Then
It's
Paul can't watch it because he can never do that. He can't just turn off his logic.
well, there's like in Scream 6 where they have the scene on the train,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going like, okay, well, how does Ghostface know that they're going to be on the train? Why isn't there's like, wait, this doesn't make any sense, but okay, it's kind of a cool scene. This does have a scene on a train that makes no sense at all, like none. And you have to, but it's a cool scene, so you kind of just have to let it go. And so it does, yeah. So I enjoyed both, but yeah, you can't use any logic in any of these.
Go
The next
figure.
one, yeah, I liked both of these movies. And that's Don't Breathe.
I haven't seen that once. I just haven't. I've been wanting to, but I just haven't done it yet. And I could have bought it for DVD at Walmart. When I used to work at Walmart, they had like the bins of DVDs, and I could have bought
Yeah, like
Don't
$5
Breathe.
bin type of thing.
Yeah, it was less, I think, than that too. But no, it was $5. It was $5 bins, and so I was gonna buy Don't Breathe, and then but I didn't work at the normal Walmart, by the way. I worked at the market Walmart, so it was like a grocery store, less than a. So it wasn't really a place where you can go buy a lot of. They don't have a huge selection of movies, but they had Don't Breathe, and I never bought it because I think I wanted to wait till it was on until I could get it on Blu-ray, anyway. But so eventually I might buy that.
It's got a great soundtrack. It's done from like the director of the remake of Evil Dead. I think they're beautifully shot. They're well acted. You there is you're supposed to feel sorry for the main character, the guy who's blind, and then rape gets involved, and insemination for like pregnancy, and
Oh, Jesus.
you're then it kind of goes, your sympathy for him kind of goes out the window in a way, but it's
Oh,
still really good. And so they then made, of course, because that made a shitload of money, Don't Breathe 2.
don't breathe too.
Don't Breathe 2, TOO.
Is it
And
TOO?
no, it's just 2.
It should have been TOO.
Well,
I don't,
it's got the same guy, and
right. Don't
it
breathe
does.
again.
Don't Breathe Again. Another Don't Breathe.
Yeah, another don't breathe.
Don't Breathe Another Day. And it does follow him. So this is, but it's what I like is, and I like when people do this, companies or filmmakers, whatever. So the guy who like was the producer and co-writer on this then got the chance to direct this.
Cool.
And the director of the first one then became the co-writer producer.
Oh,
So
they switched.
yeah, and it's done through Ghost House. So it was nice, like, hey, the first one made a ton of money. Can the guy, because I guess they're friends and they've been making movies since they were teenagers. So it's nice to see that. And each one has a slightly different look, which is cool. And the music
So
is
maybe they'll do a
great.
third
And
one.
I don't think it did as well as they wanted it to. But they do, according to the interviews I saw, they do want to do a third. This one is a little more less believable, because in the first one, because he's blind, his hearing is enhanced. Plus, he's from the military, and in this one, he's like a mutant. I mean, he can just run straight through doors. He can run like he knows where there is a
Oh, like an
window.
X-Men
He,
mutant.
yeah, it's like, I don't believe somebody who, even with the abilities that he has, who's supposed to be normal, just knows where a chair is in a room that he's never been in.
Right. He's
It's that
blind,
type.
right?
Yeah, but like he would know his own house, and that's where the first film takes place. But then the second film, he's kind of all over the place, and like he could just walk down a street and know where things are. And I thought, I don't know about that, but I still
Usually you have
liked
to have
it.
a cane or something.
Yeah, yeah. But I still liked it.
Or Sing
Um,
Eye Dog. See, those would be cool to have for a horror film.
there you
Get
go.
them, get them, get them. Go and eat all the people.
Now, of course, what would a Blu-ray Hunter haul be without me bringing up Tom Cruise? So here's my double
Oh,
feature Blu-ray of Top Gun and then Top Gun Maverick.
nice. You got both.
So yeah, it's a 2-movie collection, and this is one where I did pay a little extra for the slipcover. And I've noticed that these type of things go out of print, so I'm hoping that it might be worth a little bit of money down the road.
Sweet.
So and then I did get, and I have not seen the American versions of these, I've only seen the foreign, and that's the double feature of The Girl in the Spider's Web and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Sweet. The girl double feature.
Yeah.
The girl
So
with double feature.
yeah, this is the director of Don't Breathe. That's
Nice.
one reason why I picked it up, because I wanted to pick up his films. And then my last two, I got this from Joe Lujan. He bought the whole box set of them, and so he gave me this, even though I own them all. It's the Underworld Trilogy Box Set.
Nice.
So I have them kind of a mixture of DVD and Blu-ray, but I have them all. But I thought it was cool to. These are the 3 I have on DVD.
Ah,
So
okay.
I'm
So
gonna
now you
keep
want them
them.
on, yeah,
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
yeah,
Upgrade.
yeah. So that was cool. We trade movies every once in a while if we find something that we have a double of. And then I found this at a pawn shop, and that's Avatar. And I have this on the first Avatar, and I have this on DVD. This is the exact same thing, but on Blu-ray.
Sweet.
So now I got it on Blu-ray, and it's like a booklet type of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's missing one thing. It's missing the piece on the back that tells you what's on all the DVDs, because I looked it up, and so I just printed that, and I just keep it inside. So, all right, that's my first stack there, my first 15, I guess.
All right. Well, starts my first 15. So I'm going to start off with 4K. There's only two 4Ks, and uh, gr- I forgot how you start. You start off with Nazis. I'm starting
Yes.
out with zombies, so kind of
Oh,
undead.
that's gonna look great, man.
Yep. So
That is
zombie on 4K through
that is
the
gonna look
Blue
great and
Underground.
sound great. That soundtrack is great.
So I'm excited to check that out. And then we've got The Craft on
Also for
4K,
sweet.
also for 4K from Scream Factory. So those are my only Blue Underground and Scream Factories for these piles, I think. Yeah, I think that's all for those two. And then I got a movie that I'm really excited to watch. It's sort of an underground indie film that you might have heard of, you might not have heard of. I don't know, but we're doing it for Indie Film Cafe next season at some point. It's called Thrust.
No. The
It's got
End of Men. What is it?
yes,
Produced by Kathleen Kennedy?
no. So it's actually co-written by Victor Bonacore and Aaron Brown, Misty Monday. And it
Oh,
stars Misty Monday and Allison Egan, Michael Shershinovich, Queen Aminata, Ellie Church,
from
Ronnie
Star
Jo.
Wars? Queen Amidala?
No, Queen Aminata.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who that is. But sounds awesome. Sounds awesome that she calls herself Queen and like, for her name.
I'm gonna
Um,
call myself King Ward from now on, or King John.
Ellie Church, Ronnie Jonah, Brandy Noir, um, Scarlet Storm, Sadie Tate, and Linnea Quigley. So
Oh, is it like End of the World? Because normally that's when
yeah,
we,
it's
we
a
we lose all the men.
yeah, that's the whole point is it's like a world pretty much run by women, and stuff, and they keep some men as slaves, and I think one of them falls in love with with one of the men, and all this other stuff happens. I don't know. It's
It's interesting with those type of films because normally they have to be like isolated. So it'd be like the ship of men that crash on an island, and it's
oh
run
yeah.
all by women, or the spaceship that goes to a planet and it's all run by women,
Yeah, that's
or
the
it could
old
be
school thing, like of the 50s, right?
yeah, and then
This
you
is
have
sort of like post-apocalyptic, kind of like Road
and
Warrior.
that's the third one that they normally will go to is that the men are now slaves and the women like run
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
world.
So it's a typical kind of thing. But I saw some of it and I was like, I'm waiting for this for Indie Film Cafe. We're gonna do this for that. And I'm just gonna watch the whole rest of it then because it was good. Um, so now here comes to my Kino Lorber movies. And
Low.
once the Covered Wagon, it's an
Wow,
old
that's old
time
school.
silent movie. Next is The Birthday Party with Robert Shaw,
Oh wow, okay.
directed by somebody big. William Friedkin directed it.
I was gonna say that film sounds familiar. Yeah.
Life with Mikey, which I remember you asking me why did I get this, but this is one of my favorite. Like it's a very good feel good sort of I can turn off my brain and just enjoy it kind of movie, and I love it.
I just don't like precocious children. I don't
Mm.
know it all children who they're 8, but they talk like they're 30. It just
Paul
is
just
so annoying to me.
Paul just told me yesterday that he watched Young Sheldon for the first time and loved it.
Oh, really?
And that's he likes that. He likes precocious, bratty children who know it all because he was like, I was a bratty child who knew it all.
I don't. I rewatched Jerry Maguire and the kid in that is really cute and he's a smart kid and he's not precocious and he just like wants a dad, you
Oh,
know.
you and your Tom Cruise.
That's right.
All
That's right.
right. Next is Laws of Gravity, which is a really good indie film. Also going to probably be for Indie Film Cafe.
I never
Um,
watched it when it originally came out. Yeah.
it's really good. It's really good. It's on
That
Tubi if you want to see it.
it was during the time in my life where if it didn't say Warner Brothers or something like that or 20th Century Fox, I wouldn't
You
watch it.
snob. All right.
Yeah.
Next is Night Gallery season one. And
Yes.
so I'd only watched a
Great.
couple of the episodes so far. Watched the first two in the thing, so I need to watch the third one. I need to watch all the rest of them. You
Yeah,
know.
it's a great series that Rod Serling did not want to do. So
Nope.
He was desperate for cash.
Nope.
But I think
Next,
it's really good.
next is Newport South.
I know of it,
Uh,
but never saw it.
so it's a movie that could not be made today. Let's just say
Oh, it's one of those.
involving school shootings and stuff, and actually showing a school shooting,
Oh, wow.
which is a big no-no these days. So there's a lot of it already in this world we don't need. But it's sort of one of those movies that I had to grab because it was like one of those going out of sale, kind of going out of print kind of thing soon. And I was worried that if I didn't get it, it was going to cost like $80 to get someday if I wanted it. So I grabbed it now. I don't know. I remember hearing about it and everything, but never actually watching it. So we'll see. We'll see.
We're gonna have a lot of interesting subjects not being made up again. Like Uma Thurman made a film called She's Not There that deals with a school shooting. And even though I found the twist in it to be predictable, I liked it. And you
Um,
can make interesting films from a school shooting, as horrible as they are. And yeah, just certain
Well, as
subjects
long
would
as you
just not
kind
be
of
done.
do it where it's got like some point, it's not there for the sake of like I'm gonna have a bunch of people go in and shoot up a school, and stuff, and this is what it's like, but like it's gonna have some sort of soapbox in a way, of like message that it has to it. You know what I mean? Like otherwise, I don't want to see them glorifying people shooting kids, and stuff like that.
Right.
So.
No, I agree.
Next is a Nick Cage movie. Your other boy, your other lover.
Yes,
Firebirds.
he's goat too. I love Firebirds. It's Top Gun with helicopters, and it's got what's her face, the crazy chick who was going to be Catwoman, and then they fired her. Who's the chick in that in Firebirds? She's on the
Oh,
cover.
Sean Young.
Sean Young. She's in there, which is great. And of course, you got Tommy Lee Jones too. But yeah, it's there's a great scene where Nicolas Cage is at like a simulator, and he's killing everybody. Like he's getting all the enemies, shooting them all, and he just yells for like 2 or 3 minutes. I am the best. I am the greatest. I am the best. And it's just done in total Nick Cage
Hmm.
way, and it's just I love Firebirds. It's one of those so
I'll
bad
have
it's
to
great
watch. I'm
movies.
gonna watch that and review it soon. So I'll give you my review of it.
All right.
Or maybe I'll ask you to review it with me. I don't know if how long
Yeah, I
long
haven't seen
last
it in
time.
decades. So yeah, I'd love
Oh,
to rewatch it.
all right. So next, that's all my Kino Lorber movies. So next is my MVD. I think that's it for this. Like last is the MVD movies. So first off is Black Eagle.
Good old Van
So
Damme.
good old Van Damme, and I kind of like does it have reversible art on here? Cover art? No.
But Van Damme's not the main guy. He did like two films
Uh,
where like that No Retreat, No Surrender is not a
Also from
Van
Kino
Damme
Lorber, and
movie.
I have that one too.
Yeah, like that
Um,
one in Black Eagle, it's the other guy. That's the main star. And but they put Van Damme on the cover.
so for people
It's
who
like,
don't know, MVD puts out the posters too.
oh sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. Yeah, I like that they do that.
I like that they do that as well because I like putting up the posters either in my room or at the studio. So
Oh, you
um
actually put them up?
yeah.
Do you put thumbtacks or tape on them?
What do you think's behind me? Those are all posters.
Right, but those are like ones you bought from like eBay or something.
Oh yeah, some of them,
If
but
the, if the movie comes with a poster, I keep the poster with the
oh no,
movie.
no, I
I
don't
don't put
do
it
that.
up,
I put
or
them
I'll
up
frame it. Like so, if I want to put it back in, it's not ruined.
because I've got like if you look over here, see Wild Things, and that was not MVD, but that was like I think Arrow.
Oh
So
yeah, I won't put
yeah.
any of those up unless they're framed.
All right, next is a Boogie Boy. There's another film from
Don't know that
MVD.
one.
It's Mark Dacascos, James Woolvett, Emily Lloyd, Frederick Forrest, Tracy Lords, and Joan Jett. And by the way, Joan Jett is also in Life with Mikey. So kind of cool. I didn't mean
Oh,
to get two movies with Joan Jett in them.
nice.
Um,
Okay.
but um, so this was written directed by Craig Hammond. think I'm saying that name right. But he's a friend of mine on Facebook, and I don't know if he's a friend of yours or not. But we actually met in person when I went out to LA. We finally we kept trying to meet up, and then we finally met up, and it was really neat. Um, so that's pretty cool. Next is disturbing behavior, which we
Yes.
did a um which we did a review of, and I just did another review of on 90s horror.
I saw
Um,
that. I thought it was our review, and then I noticed, oh
no,
no, that's not me on there. That's
no, sadly not. But no, I had a fun time. It was good. It was Madeline Deering and Lacey Liu. But if you listen to that podcast, it's okay because ours probably sticks more to the movie than we did on that one. That one really went off the rocker. Just started talking about everything 90s. It almost like there was like maybe 5 minutes of disturbing behavior, maybe 10, but the rest was like, and it was the other was like 2 hours long. So it was like way more of other stuff going on, you know. Um, you know how me, if you get me started on something, I go down a rabbit hole and then there you go.
I
Screwed.
think as long as it sticks to kind of what you're doing, I think doing that is fine. Like
Yeah, it's a
if
90s
you're talking about
horror, so
disturbing behavior and then you start talking about, oh, by the way, I got a new carburetor for my car.
right. But if you're talking about, we talked about disturbing behavior, but then we went into Dawson's Creek, which Katie Holmes was attached to. We talked about, I think yours and I did talk also about like um faculty and other stuff too. So I mean, it wasn't too much, but it was a decision that we made because Lacey wanted to do an episode with us, and she had talked about disturbing behavior being like a movie she's been wanting to chat about. So said, all right, sure. Um, Abominable,
Yes.
abominable, abominable. It's really hard to say.
Abominable. See, now I can't say it. Abominable.
Abominable.
Yeah,
Yes.
so break it apart. So ba ba ba
A bomb,
men men
men,
a bull.
bomben, a bon, and a bull. There you go.
Abominable. Yeah. It's not an easy word to say. But if you
It's
say it, the abominable snowman, there you
yeah,
go.
if you
Now you
say
can
it all
say it.
like fast, like the
But
abominable
if
snowman.
it's one word, then yeah, then it's
Yeah,
difficult.
then it
I
gets all
think I
confusing.
have that on DVD, but I don't know, or maybe it is MVD, but I know there's two cuts of it. There,
Um,
I remember somebody talking about that, saying like, "Oh yeah, this is like a new cut of the movie."
let me see. Doesn't say. Yeah, it says delete in extended scenes, but it doesn't say. It does have like Shadows, the Ryan Schifrin's first student film and stuff. And another short called Basil and Mobius, No Rest for the Wicked. So, um, and which stars Zachary Levi, Ray Park, Malcolm McDowell, and Kane Hodder.
Ray Park. Okay.
That's interesting. So yeah, I might want to check out that short. Um, and then it's got oh, okay, this is the I guess this is the new version. Because it also has the original 2005 version of Abominable.
Oh, sweet. So that's a good. So that's good to pick up then.
Yeah, that's definitely worth it. I mean, it's worth it anyway. I really like the movie. So back in when it came out, I was a huge Tiffany Shepis fan, so I
Me
wanted to
too.
watch everything she did. And she gets naked in this one. Always a plus, you know.
Yes.
But she was in or like Ryan Schifrin, the director, was on my MySpace. So back in the day, so I wanted to see this so badly. I think I interviewed him. I think so, because I think it was 2007. This was me in 2007, right? 2005. So, yeah. So this came out, and like I got a chance to interview him. I think so. Um,
Ooh.
anyway, I have to look back at my interviews and maybe see if I can hear that one again. It was probably a terrible interview because my early interviews were awful, awful. Like re-listening to them, I'm like, ooh, but sometimes it's good to re-listen to that because then hey, don't do that, you idiot. Um,
Right.
So last but not least on this first half is the last MVD, and it's another Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. It is Lionheart,
Nice.
which directed by Sheldon Lettich, whose house I went to visit when he gave me the once was it Only the Strong poster, and then I got to interview him, and it was really cool. And my favorite story is the fact that I went to the bathroom, was asked to use his restroom, and he was very polite, let me use his restroom. I don't think he would have made me go somewhere else, but I ended up going in there, and there was posters all over the bathroom of like all the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that he did and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen posters like movie posters in a bathroom before. I was like, that's pretty neat. So I came out of it and I said, Sheldon, I really like that you put the posters in the bathroom. That's really cool. And he goes, yeah, you know who doesn't like it? Jean-Claude.
Yeah, because they're in the toilet.
You're right. And he's like, what are you trying to say
Yeah,
about
exactly.
my
That's
movies?
what my thought was. If you didn't bring that up, I wasn't going to say anything. But yeah, since you did bring it up, my first thought was, yeah, these films are shit, and they go into the toilet.
Trying to say about my films. He didn't do that on purpose. He just probably thought that was cool, to put those. He should have put his worst of his movies, but then I don't know. He's made a couple with Jean-Claude that weren't the greatest. Maybe like Legionnaire. I think he worked on that movie, which I didn't really like as much. Jean-Claude, I think, had his time and then he was done, and he's still making movies. He's got the TV show I think he's doing. Wonderful. Like keep doing it, but it's just not the Jean-Claude I grew up with.
His TV stuff is pretty good, and JCVD is really
Oh, I
good. I
love
think
that movie. I love
it's
that
his best
movie.
film.
Yeah, it's where he makes fun of himself, sort of pokes fun of himself.
Yeah,
And that is always the best. Sorry, gotta grab these. Yeah, that happened.
they tumbled.
They tumbled. They tumbled and fell. It happens. But I gotta make sure I pick everything up. Okay. So, I guess you are up. Um,
Okay, that was your last one.
yeah, that was my last one. So,
Okay. So these three were from a Hamilton book order. So I kind of keep them all like this because eventually I'm gonna do a video on them. So let me take that off. So I got some of these I got because maybe they look like collector's items, like maybe they wouldn't be around for a long time. And that's
mhm.
Bong of the Living Dead.
Bong of the Living Dead.
Yeah, it's from Scream Team. It's got a bunch of special features and stuff. Um, it's got yeah, I mean, it's like a double disc, and it's got the reversible cover type of thing. So and they were all pretty cheap. Um, these three were yeah $10 each.
Ah,
These two, Paul made a comment when I posted it on Facebook. He's like, "I want those. I love that filmmaker." And the first one is Space Vampire.
nice. Who's the filmmaker?
Um, Chris Alexander.
Oh, wow. I like Chris.
I've never seen any of his movies. I got
I like
it for
Chris.
the
I'm friends with
cover.
Chris on Facebook. That's all I know. Like, I haven't
Oh,
watched his
okay.
movies yet. I gotta check out some of his stuff. Yeah, let me know if Space Vampire is good.
Yeah, Ali Chapel. There's audio commentary, which is cool.
Oh,
So
Allie? Oh, nice.
yeah, this is part of the Dark Side collection.
I think if I'm correct, Chris might be working with Full
Excuse
Moon
me.
now and stuff, doing a lot of stuff with them.
Excuse me. Um, and then I got another one of his. No, I think he maybe just meant Space Vampire, or maybe he meant both, but they're both different directors. This one I wouldn't even be able to tell you the director's name. It's like some foreign name, but it's Planet Z, also part of the Dark Side collection.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Bless you.
man, thank you. Yeah, so they just look cool from whatever trailer I could find or poster, or I read about them and they were cheap. And it's like, oh, this is kind of independent stuff, maybe like Ice from the Sun type of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of funky, kind of weird. This falls into my 80s horror that I've been slowly collecting, and that is Mausoleum, which is a great one from the
I've
80s.
heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Vinegar Syndrome, and it's got where are they? It's got John Carl Buechler.
Ah, John
Um,
Carl Buechler. I miss
yeah,
him.
you
Or
did the
Buechler. I thought it was
effects.
Buechler, but it's okay. Buechler.
We used to call him the Belcher, John Carl Belcher.
Oh.
Bobby Breeze, I think, is the lead. That's why am I not seeing her name on this? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, Bobby Breeze. One reason why I want it is because it has Marjo Gortner in it, who's also in like Star Crash, and he
Oh,
was
cool.
he had his own cult. He used to be like a preacher, and he was like a really religious guy, and he had there's a whole documentary on him.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and yeah, it's got like the reversible cover inside.
Sweet.
Following that same thing of 80s is Mortuary, which is
Mortuary.
MVD.
I gotta get that on MVD. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
this
all the
is
MVDs because there's not that many of them, you know.
well, sadly, this is well, it's like one of Bill Paxton's first movies, but it's Christopher George's last movie, which
Oh.
makes me sad. He died of cancer, I think, like
And
not
then you
long
think
after he
about
made
Bill
this
Paxton
movie.
being dead and like, good
Oh
God.
man, yeah, I didn't put the
Everybody's in
two
the
together.
mortuary.
Yeah. Linda Day George is also in this as his wife. So which was always fun to see them together. But I think see, I got the same thing. There's the
The
poster.
poster, yep.
I just leave it inside.
Huh.
I look at it and then I just leave it inside. This is you said that you were collecting the Warner Brothers archive collection, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
I'm
don't
doing that
so I
too.
don't know if this one would count, but it's Boris Karloff in Frankenstein 1970.
Does it say Warner Archives at the top? Yeah,
Yeah.
it counts.
So this goes along with that. I remember I told you and Paul a long time ago that I wanted to find the horror guys from back in the day when they
Mm-hmm.
played like Lon Chaney Jr. in like 1940 played the werewolf, but then he also played the werewolf in like 1970 when he's all drunk and fat and everything. This is the same type of thing. So this is the closest I could find to Boris Karloff playing like Dr. Frankenstein again.
Okay, cool.
So I picked that one up, and it's got audio commentary by a couple historians. So
Nice. Those are always good.
yeah, it's
Uh, the,
like a oh, go on.
well, I was just gonna say the two Warner Archives ones I have will be for the next haul,
Yeah, I have
and
a
then
couple
probably I'll
coming.
have more by then, you know.
Yeah, I think I have like Night School coming, but that's DVD. And I have one more, but I don't think it's the Warner Brothers one. But this is I maybe I'll watch this today, but because it's pretty short. But it's a TV crew goes in to film him.
It's what
So
called
it's
Frankenstein what?
Frankenstein 1970, but it's not made in 1970. It's very dark. I can't see the 83 minutes black and white, but I think it was still like the 50s or something, the 60s. But it's weird that this is now kind of what film is. It's like, the TV crew goes in to film him, and of course everybody starts dying.
Yep.
So might rewatch it. Then I figured if I had one Tom Cruise in here, I should get the guy who was possibly going to replace him if Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol bombed. And that would be Jeremy Renner, who's the Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters extended cut.
Nice.
So this is
I actually
Dollar
like
Tree.
that one.
I haven't seen it yet.
I like the original, like theatrical. I haven't seen the director's cut or whatever, but
Yeah, I was trying to find one more. I was at like 29. I'm like, fuck. And I thought, oh, wait, I got Tom Cruise in one stack. I'll do Jeremy Renner in the other. So, and then, of course, of this one, Aquaman. So that kind of
Aquaman. Yep.
rounds out my James Wan collection now. I think I have everything. Not including all the stuff he produced, but the directed ones I think I have. This one I got also in Hollywood at Amoeba Records, the Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life.
Mm-hmm.
I like the first two. I wish it was the same director, Michael Bay, but it's a different director. So if they make a fourth, which I've heard they're going to do, as long as it sticks with different directors, then that's fine. But if there's only going to be three, then okay, Michael Bay, just why didn't you direct it? So,
Right.
but it's okay. It's all right. And then Will Colossal just announced that this was on Tubi, I guess like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was sent the Blu-ray of it, and I'm gonna do a separate video on the whole collection. And that is Camp Blood 666 Part 2 Exorcism of the Clown.
Nice.
And I have a small role in it as a cult leader. So but it's got audio commentary, the extended rough cut of the film. So this thing is kind of packed. It's got some good stuff on it. So this movie I hated when I first saw it, and then once I saw that they were doing a sequel, and the sequel looked amazing, I bought it, rewatched it, and loved it. And that's The Meg. So I'm really looking forward to Meg 2, The Trench. And I made sure, even though it's an old movie, that it got its slip jacket. So
nice,
because I know I'll pick up Meg 2 with a slip jacket. This one has a story, and I'll make it fast. Back in the day when I worked at the cinema, there was a candy girl. That's what they were called. So sorry if that offends people, but they were called candy girls. And I thought that she was really hot, and she knew I was in the film. And I started talking to her, and she goes, "My dad's a director." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Well, what has he made?" And she said that he made a movie called Foes. And I'm like,
yeah.
Foes? I've been trying to see Foes for like 20 years because I remember seeing the trailers on TV when I was a little kid, like 10 years old. And of course, this is Star Wars Close Encounters time. So so the all the UFO stuff was was the rage. And I'm just like, man, I've always wanted to see that movie. And we talked a little bit more, and I said, "Hey, would you like to go out?" And she goes, "No, I don't want to go out with you." And I'm like, "Why?" And she goes, "Because you're only dating me to get to my dad." And I'm like, maybe, no.
Hey, be honest,
Maybe, because that wasn't I just thought, oh, her dad's a director. Maybe she's in the film, she's hot, and stuff like that. I thought, wow, this may be the perfect person to date. But she just thought I wanted to date her for her dad. And I'm just like, well, no, I don't want to date you just because your dad made Foes. I mean, there's other things. And being at the age that I was, she goes like, what? I said, well, you're hot. She just walked away. Never took her out. I know the last name of her, but that's it because of this movie. But yeah, this is now out of print. I bought it. It was not cheap on eBay, but I really wanted to pick it up because it was.
And it's on Blu-ray. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's on Blu-ray. It's from Garage House Pictures. It's got like audio commentary by the director and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Maybe he talks about his daughter in the commentary.
Yeah, maybe she joins them or something. There is the original director's cut, so there's two versions of this, I guess, on here. But it is available on YouTube for free. Somebody put it up.
That's maybe in the commentary she talks about this guy that would only wanted to date her for That's funny.
Yeah, I wasn't the most tactful back in those days. Those were like early 20s, type of thing. But, well, yeah, you're hot. And of course, the girl's supposed to go, why, thank you. Of course I'll date you. No. It did not happen.
Your charming personality.
Yeah. These next few are from like Makeflix, and they're the Fred Olin Ray stuff. So they're like double features of, I think they're public domain, but they look good and they sound good, and they're like $5 each. So I picked it up during the sale. This is a horrifying double feature of The Mysterious Mr. Wong with Bela Lugosi and The Living Ghost. So I thought I would pick those up. Yeah. And yeah, there's pretty much no special features, maybe like trailers. That's about it. Yeah, it's retro media. And then same type of thing. This is Terrifying double feature. Well, this one is Terrifying. Oh, they're both Terrifying double feature. Okay. They say the same thing, but it's different font. And it's got Teenagers from Outer Space and The Giant Leeches.
Nice.
Teenagers from Outer Space is one of my all-time favorite films. It was a huge influence on my short film Skull Evil, and The Giant Leeches, of course, was produced by Roger Corman. So can't go wrong with that. And yeah, trailers is that's what's on here, but they're well done. I mean, he puts like lobby cards on the back, and I mean, they're okay. This one weird; it doesn't have a title on the disc, so the other
That is
one
a little
does.
weird.
And then my last one is a bucket list Criterion, and we'll be seeing this again. This is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers. I'm a huge fan of his son. I'm a huge fan of him. I would have loved to have worked with him, but unfortunately he passed away. And that is the Melvin Van Peebles Essential Films collection from Criterion.
Nice.
And it has like this big booklet that comes with it. And the movies are the story of a 3-day pass, Watermelon Man, Don't Play Us Cheap, and of course, one of the greatest movies ever made, Sweetback's Badass Song.
Nice.
So this is I love Melvin Van Peebles. I think he's I had an actress one time not say I was racist, but she kind of implied it. And I'm like, no, I date all types of people. I've dated white women, black women, Asian women. It's like I'm not really no, and like my in my top 5, one of my favorite filmmakers is him. And a lot of his films bash white people because this is during the 70s.
Right.
So it's like I'm not really sure how I could be racist if Melvin Van Peebles is like my guy.
Right. Yeah. For
you know,
sure.
and he was in The Shining, the remake of The Shining. He was the Scatman Crothers role in that one too. And I was really excited about that because that's
Oh, okay.
total mainstream. Yeah. So that's it. That's my stack.
I know you like that. You prefer that one over the Stanley Kubrick one, and Kubrick is Paul's. So you guys clash on that, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be interesting to do a video on. I just watched on YouTube a video that the Horror Geek made, and I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I actually want to interview him for One Filmmaker, and he just did a Stephen King to Kubrick comparison of the book to the movie. Briefly mentions the miniseries, but yeah, he talks about how much Stephen King, even to this day, hates the Kubrick version.
All right, so my last 15, and we're gonna start off with you ended on Criterion, which we're gonna be doing a whole Criterion haul video. All you, me, and Paul are doing it, so
yeah,
and letting everybody know that. So there will be one of those. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna cut it off from and make it a Blu-ray Hunter one instead of Indie Film Cafe, but I don't know, we'll see, because the Criterion Watch is our thing for Indie Film Cafe, not for Blu-ray Hunter. So anywho, I'm gonna start off with Mateflix, which you almost ended it off as.
almost.
And that was Robot Ninja.
Yes.
Which is probably one of my favorite J.R. Bookwalter movies. And a lot of fun, just goofy, silly. Wasn't the trash that Zombie Cop ended up being,
that is my favorite J.R.
Yeah.
Bookwalter film, and I've even messaged him because we've talked from time to time that if he ever has anybody remake that movie, I want to remake it.
Yeah. I think it's been such a thing where, I mean, he disowned it for a while, so I don't even know if he still disowns it.
It's pretty bad as far as like racism goes and stereotypes, and
like there's a guy with a towel on his head. I mean, and it's the writer of the film. I mean, it doesn't really help.
Well, they're making fun of Apu, from The Simpsons.
Right.
That's what he's doing is, yeah, he's imitating him. But these days it's like, oh,
even Apu's been sort of banished from Simpsons, and stuff. So from what I've heard,
I've heard that I haven't seen Simpsons in like 30 years.
I don't think I'm surprised. I mean, it's still going. I'm guessing
they could. I mean, they could rework Apu. Just don't make him a stereotype. Just
bring him back, but bring him back more like
positive. Here's my wife, here's my kids. Oh, look, I own this business. Success in America. You don't have to make him the stereotype. I don't think he was ever that bad. I mean, Homer is much worse than he is. But once again, we're now going off on another tangent.
Okay, so speaking of not going off on other changes. So then I'm going to start with these are actually from the UK, but I have, obviously eBay and everything. And they're a group called Indicator in the UK, and they're really good. They have some really good stuff. So to begin with is Sean Connery in the Anderson tapes.
Oh, okay, good
Um,
movie. I remember
I
that from a
know
long time ago.
there's another version of this where like either Kino or somebody else has like, or Masters of Cinema, somebody has this as well. I don't think Criterion does, but I got it on here. I don't think I'll need any other version. I mean, they already have commentary with historian Glenn Kenny, and then Super 8 version, 17-minute original cut down from home cinema presentation. I don't know what that means. 17-minute version, I guess, of this movie. I don't know. So, that's all I need. I just need the commentary and I'm fine, you know. Next is a movie I've been kind of dying to watch. Speaking of some racial kind of situations, is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, the original
Oh yeah,
with Sidney Poitier. Um, who yeah, Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy. I mean, a classic film. I actually just watched In the Heat of the Night for the first time.
great movie.
Yeah, and yeah, it's fantastic. So,
It's the I never saw the remake. Guess Who? But it's the opposite. The black girl brings the white guy home. And
mhm.
there is a line in the trailer that cracks me up when they see Ashton Kutcher come in, and the brother says, "Wait, what are we being audited?" So that's like how black people see white people. Is that are we being audited?
Is there some?
You know,
Yeah, like why is that guy? Was that guy in a suit coming over here? Like yeah.
yeah.
So
But of course, in what's coming, in who guess who's coming to dinner, it's more like, are we being robbed? Type of thing, because it's a black guy coming in. So it's
yeah,
interesting the dynamic between like black guy robbing, white guy auditing.
right,
It's like one's not bad and the other one is bad.
yeah. Next is a classic. 20 Million Miles to Earth.
Oh yes, Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm gonna try to pick up because Indicator has a ton of Ray Harryhausen movies, and I've been dying to just dive into all of them at some point and everything. So, out of all the ones I want to grab, I just grabbed that one first, and stuff, and I'm sure I'll
it's a
grab.
great one.
I think it's like one of the first. So I was
It
trying to.
scared me as a kid. It really scared me when I saw it on TV as a kid. It actually frightened me. I thought the creature was really, really
A lot
frightening.
frightened me as a kid, so I'm pretty sure as a kid this would have frightened me, but whatever. Anyway, next is a movie I never heard of before. It's the last of the Indicator, I guess. Yeah, only have four indicators because I actually have a fifth one, but I did it for another haul. It might have been the last haul, which was the Tingler. And I actually did it for a review. I reviewed it recently. And so that was kind of cool. But next is The Wrong Box,
I
starring
know the title, but I think that's
John
about it.
Mills, Ralph Richardson, Michael Caine, Peter Cook, Dudley Moore, Nanette
Oh,
Newman, Tony Hancock, and Peter Sellers. I mean,
oh wow.
that cast alone is like you know.
Yeah.
So next is my Arrow Select, which is not the typical Arrow, but it's like sort of their I I want to say they're like more indie level kind of, but more not genre based necessarily. You know how Arrow's more genre based. This is like, dramas and comedies and other things like that. First is Gas Food Lodging,
That's
classic.
a good one.
Yeah, I did a review of this, I think, too. And I really liked it. Um, then next is Gosford Park, which I think you
Know
had
of it,
told
but
me you had never heard of it, right?
yeah, no, I've never seen it. I know of
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robert Altman movie. I think
Yeah. Not a
maybe his
huge Altman
last
fan. Hit and
movie
miss.
or something before he passed away, but one of his last, if not. Um,
Yeah, I
and
think
it's
it's
got a
in the
huge
handful
cast.
of stuff that he did, because he did some pretty bad movies right before he died.
He so he it starts like Eileen Atkins, Bob Balaban, Ellen Bates, Charles Dance, Stephen Fry, Michael Gambon, Richard E. Grant. Oh, God, they're so small. the thing. Jacoby, Kelly MacDonald, Helen Mirren, Jeremy Northam, Clive Owen, Ryan Phillippe, Maggie Smith, Kristen Scott Thomas, and Emily Watson. So fantastic cast.
Yeah, Emily. Yeah, it's he's one of those guys that he would make one good movie and then like The Player,
yeah.
and then it would go into like Shortcuts, which was okay, and then he'd make another film and he'd be like, eh, and then the films after that would suck, and then he'd make another good movie and be like, oh okay, and
Uh-huh.
then the next one would be okay, and then the next one would be like, eh,
All
and
right.
he'd make a bunch of shit movies again. Like I saw his film Cookie at
Cookie?
yeah, it's called, I believe it's called Cookie. I saw that Sundance in 2000, and the audience hated the movie that he didn't even do a Q&A. He left.
Oh, damn.
It is awful. It is horrible.
All right. Next is the last of the Arrow Select, which is Man of a Thousand Faces. That's
Yes,
the story of Lon Chaney, with
good
James
film
Cagney.
with the most probably miscast actor ever.
Aw.
I
James Cagney.
I would not be sitting in a room going, "Who could we get to play Lon Chaney Senior?" Oh, let's get James Cagney. I don't
The,
think that would be, you know,
the Gosford
my
Park had
choice.
3 commentaries, by the way.
Oh
And
wow.
freaking and this one only has one, but it's like by film scholar Tim Lucas, who I've seen on a bunch of those things. So he's a film historian.
Have
I don't
you seen Man of a Thousand Faces?
no, not yet. I'm
Okay, so I'm
planning
I'm,
to.
I'm not going to tell you the big problem with it then, which
Okay,
is
we'll talk about it
historically,
later after I've
yeah,
seen it.
historically it was a big problem. Yeah.
So these next two are from wait, 3 are from Severn. But one's not from Severn, it's from their Intervision, you know,
Oh yeah, yeah,
company.
like their subdivision
Yeah,
type of thing. Yeah.
subdivision company called Intervision. Um, so the first one
No,
is
no, stay down.
Shocking Dark.
Yes, I want to see that one. Yeah,
Yeah. Next is The Changeling, the original Changeling. I've heard
that is
this
a
is
good
really
one.
spooky, so I've been
Yeah,
wanting.
it's good. It's George C. Scott, and it's very creepy. It's kind of a sad movie too.
I'm gonna probably do it as like, because I'm gonna be doing more horror reviews and stuff on Horror Film Lovers. That's not, my typical
No, stay down.
shows or whatever, like my scheduled shows. I'm just gonna be doing random reviews of movies I have or whatever, and Changeling is one of the ones I want to do. Next is
Yeah, it's a good one.
the Intervision one is the one I got because it's actually got something special on it. So it's Hey Stop Stabbing Me. And what it has special on it is if you read that at the
Uh,
top.
what? Oh, that's your review.
Yeah. Well, not my review.
That's
It's actually
well, the
Paul's review, but
Paul's review, but Indie Film Cafe review.
by Indie Film Cafe. So
Sweet.
yeah. So Paul got credited, well, as Indie Film Cafe, and they took out his Moo Cow stuff, of course, because it would make no
I mean,
sense.
a lot of the
Very
times it will say like Joe, it would say like Joe Smith, New York Times.
right.
So they
And
should
this
have
didn't
put
say, but I
Paul's
think they
name and
didn't
then
look
Indie
up
Film.
who did the review. They didn't know who did the review. Because in the Indie Film Cafe, because they got this actually from the website, indiefilmcafe.reviews, if you want to check that out. But that actually didn't have his name on it. It just says like Moo Cow. So I don't think they're gonna put in Moo Cow
No.
Indie Film Cafe. So
See,
um
sometimes the Moo Cow thing doesn't work.
well, if he
It
wants
just
to
has
get
to
some
be Paul.
credit,
Yeah.
because people aren't gonna put that on their thing. Paul was like, why not? I'm like, cuz you're silly. It's silly. It's all right for you, but if you want to do a business professional stuff, you gotta understand it's just not gonna work necessarily. All right, so the last ones I got are
No, no, no. Stay
Vestron films, and so
Ooh.
some have slipcases and one does not. So this one has a slipcase, which is The Dentist 1 and 2.
Yes. Yes. Got that
I
one.
actually watched the first Dentist recently for 90s horror films of all things, and I fucking loved it. it was great. I've not seen the second one yet. I'm dying to see it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
On
um,
a lot of these movies, I've noticed, and especially on the Vestron ones, is they number them.
mhm.
So if you look on the side, it would be like, 10. So if you want to collect all of them, you could put them in the numbered order. And
Yeah,
that's how
this is
I've been
number
doing it.
29.
Yeah. So you have 28 others to collect to get the
Right.
whole collection. And I
Um,
like that. I like that people do that.
so then, yeah, spine numbers they're called, and what is his name? Criterion does that too. Criterion has all their numbers movies spine number. Yeah. So, there you go. If you want to collect them all, which I actually plan on collecting every single Criterion film by the time I'm dead. As long as I
Wow.
don't die before I'm able to, that's my goal. It's a journey, and it's
So
not
you'll
something I
need to get
plan
the
to do
you'll
it
need to get
like
the Melvin Van Peebles one then.
eventually I will.
Yeah.
You know. But next is number 12, which is Slaughter High, which we're
Yes.
actually going to be doing for 80s horror films.
Is
Rebecca,
is that uncut? They released it rated and unrated when it was on VHS. I think my DVD is unrated. Maybe they have both versions on there.
it says doesn't have a rating. Unrated.
Good.
This motion picture previously was released in a version rated R. The unrated version contains materials different from the original R-rated version.
Good. You got the good one. Good.
Yeah. So there you go. And it um doesn't have the original one. But
That's right.
another movie that I don't think you'd care for necessarily, but it's on Vestron and it's something I grew up with. So I loved it to death, which is Little Monsters. It's the one that doesn't have.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, not. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this movie. I thought it was when I it's one of those movies that when I was a kid I just watched on repeat over and over again because I really thought it was hilarious and stuff, and just the idea of it was sort of remember Monsters Inc. Sort of that before Monsters Inc. Became a thing. So but yeah, I the live action Monsters Inc. basically with Fred Savage and Ben Savage and Howie Mandel.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
just looked at it as a Beetlejuice ripoff. Like, what's that Fred one?
oh, Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like that. It's just a. I just considered it just to be a Beetlejuice
Yeah, I
ripoff.
get it because it's got the monster who's kind of goofy and silly and, whatever. And kid like, or whatever. By the way, Beetlejuice 2 has been pushed back because of the strike right now. Weren't able to finish
Everything
that film.
is. I
I
mean,
know.
even Chucky the TV series season 3 is stopped. It's like
Everything
son of
has
a
to stop.
bitch, man.
David
Um,
Zaslav and Bob Iger, just give them what they want. Just, I mean, whatever. Anyway,
it's a whole other video, but I'm 50-50. So
last but not,
stop writing shit movies and films, and maybe you'll start making money.
well, that's not,
The
you know,
if you're a writer on She-Hulk and you're only getting sorry, $395 in your check each month. Oh, well, then write something better, because I would love to get residuals for $395 for something
yeah,
I've
most
done.
people get residuals for like 2 cents,
So yeah,
whatever.
and she's bitching that she's not making enough money. It's like then maybe your show should have done better. Maybe
Well,
you
no,
shouldn't have done
nobody's
such a
watching the
shit
show
show.
really. And then like
No,
once
nobody
they,
cares about it.
yeah,
That's why it's not getting a second season.
yeah.
Make
And
something better.
last but not least, definitely not least, I actually just watched this for the first time when I got it. I was so excited I had to watch it like that day, because I had never seen it. But I'm a huge Corey and Corey fan. Dream a Little Dream. Um,
Yes.
and this is really cool because it's the first time where Corey Feldman was the lead, basically. And usually it's Corey Haim who's the lead and stuff. So it's really fun to see. And I don't even like how they have it where Corey Feldman's in the background. He's the fucking lead star. It should be him. but it's like, oh, let's put the pretty boy up in the middle because, that's who everybody's really going to see the movie for, unfortunately, back then. But Corey Feldman did such a fantastic job in this movie. He
That's
deserved,
it's
better
during
treatment.
his weird Michael Jackson phase where everything was Michael Jackson and he would dance like Michael Jackson and dressed like Michael Jackson and it was just like
And he hung out with Michael Jackson.
yeah, it was very weird during that time. So
Yeah,
I guess
he
he's
was I mean, he's been notorious for talking about how he doesn't understand people's hatred for, him because of all the people, he never had a problem with Michael, and I'm like, well, I mean, Michael may not have molested you,
yeah,
but he was there's other things, to say otherwise for other people,
right.
and whatnot. So I think that's the thing. Michael probably picked certain people not to mess with just so it would seem like he's not messing with everybody. You know what I mean? With people who are like, oh, well, Corey Feldman can stick up for me. I don't do anything with him, you know.
Yeah,
So that's how I view it.
that's
But
an interesting Michael Jackson impression.
I have a terrible Michael Jackson impression, but I hear I always make fun of because like Chris Seaver will have somebody play Michael Jackson. It was usually his former wife would play him, and she would go, ooh, do the whole woo thing. I don't know. I can't really be loud right now, so can't do it. But she would do that thing. Then she'd go like, Shamam. It sounded more like South Park, you know, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah, like how South Park makes fun of Michael Jackson. Yeah.
right,
So,
all
but
the time.
anyway, that's it. That's my
Oh, that's all. Okay.
30, and that's your 30. So we're gonna continue this for the next haul. We'll do another like August and September haul. So look for that in October. And we'll probably do another haul at some point in like November, December, and stuff because I do want to sort of still finish off like the year, at least or whatever. But aside from that, I think we are gonna sort of take a break from doing them like every 2 months or whatever, because I just honestly I was lucky to get this amount that I have. I this time I really spent way too much on Criterion. So like that was my main focus. And that's going to be my main focus in October or November as well. So, just going to be mostly those and not a lot of, because I want to get as many criterions as I can, you know, is the plan. I mean, I want to collect them all, but, you know, sadly, not all of them are on Blu-ray, you know, and a lot of the earlier ones not going to ever become on Blu-ray,
Hmm.
because they were like ones that they had on like Laserdisc back in the day. So I'm excited though. I'm excited to show off my loot. I mean, you've seen it. Paul just saw it yesterday, so everybody sort of knows what I got. Paul has about 8, I think. I'll have 18, so I have 10 more than he.
I might have the lowest amount of Criterion ones.
Oh,
So
for
the
real? Okay.
yeah, so the Melvin Van Peebles one will be in there, and then I might have like 4 more.
Okay.
I
Well,
have a very small box of Criterion, so um, it really depends. I'm not. They're even at half price. They're still too expensive, and so that's why even like the Melvin Van Peebles when they had their sale, I just bought it off of eBay, brand new, for like $5 less.
for me,
So
I'm not very picky on the price thing. If $20 to me is a typical for like Blu-rays, you know what I mean? Like if you go to the store, most Blu-rays are about $20, if not a little less. But yeah, so typically that's all I buy, but yeah, I'm okay with it being that, you know.
I have a price line where I won't go. It has to be something really good. Like I would get the Cronenberg movies from Criterion.
Do you fly on your Priceline? Priceline.com. Shout out. You're done. You're done. You're done with me and my dad jokes.
Skywalker Ranch.
Dr. Pepper, which is different than my normal cherry Coke.
This is coffee, and I normally drink it out of my zombie apocalypse store tumbler, but today I wanted coffee. So
I need to make some coffee in a little bit because I'm getting tired. Not from this. I was tired before this, so you know. But I want to thank you, John. This has been awesome.
yeah, I
We'll
like doing
have,
this.
I think we'll do about 30 each if we can, on the next haul as well, you know.
Oh yeah, because
I'm
I have a bunch. These are mostly singles,
oh,
or
okay.
maybe I got them off of eBay or something like that. I have boxes over there.
Ah,
Boxes. I mean, I will, since you showed me yours, I'll show you mine. Uh, all those down there, and then all of them over here, and up here.
wow.
This is all stuff. It's DVD and Blu-ray, but it's all Blu-ray that I can do on one of these hauls.
Right,
But they're by company, so that's why I don't include them. I'll normally, if I buy something like the Top Gun one, I just, that was a single. I bought it off of eBay. I just put it on the stack for the
right.
Blu-ray haul. Mario Van Peebles or the Melvin Van Peebles, I bought it off of eBay as a single. It goes onto the stack. So, but it will also be used for Criterion, so it's got a double use. So I could always come up with 30. That's easy.
Come here, come here.
Just matters how I want to do
My dog wants to join.
it. Hello. Hi, doggy.
Hey, say hello. Hello. Look, that's John. Oh, you see John? He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. What you're making me do. I picked him up off the bed. He was in the
So that was
background.
comfortable.
He was, but he's comfortable here too. Are you? No?
Well, then we should end it so we can go back onto the bed.
Okay. So thank you so much, and everybody else, thank you guys for checking this out.
Thanks.
We'll
Thanks,
be back
everybody.
in October for the next haul video, so of this. But we'll be doing a lot more other stuff too. We got other things to get done, and so thank you, and everybody else, tune in next time. Until then, bye.
Bye.